You will drown in eternal night.
Hi guys, welcome back to the channel and to another episode of Kombat Talks Blood. Today we have yet another special guest, and some of you may already know him from his own channel, Boneyards. As I started playing MK Mobile that is, there were only a few people on YouTube who seriously covered this game, and after turning my back on the biggest one, there were only two channels left at that time. One was GTG, and the other one, you guessed it, was Boneyards. But enough of me dwelling in memories. Boneyards, welcome to the podcast. How is it going?
It is going great, and I'm excited, and thank you for having me.
Happy to have you here, man. Well then, for our listeners, how about you introduce yourself a little bit, talk about your channel, how you started YouTube, how you started playing MK Mobile, everything that comes to mind.
Alright, just go ahead and jump into that. Well, I've been a big Mortal Kombat fan since I was a kid, so around, I guess it was April 2015, they announced the console MKX, and I was waiting for it and saw that there was going to be a mobile version, and pretty much since the first day of the launch on iOS, I've played, but I've had my moments where I've stopped playing for several months, even up to a year, and I've come back to it, but I'm a big fan of it. There's times when in my head, I kind of go back and forth. I have this part of me that's like, I hate spending money. Don't do it. Then there's this part of me that's like, well, I worked really hard. You know what? I'll spend some money, and I get new cards, and I get excited, and I start playing again. So that's kind of my problem, is I don't stick to something for very long. Like some of these players I've watched, they're so dedicated. They have been playing this game since basically it's come out, or since the moment they do start playing, they never stop. And my brain just is not capable of that, so it's really cool to see. Watching videos in other people's channels, like you said earlier in the intro, the biggest one, and I think we're probably talking about the same one, is where I started watching.
Probably everyone.
Yeah, so that's where I started watching, and that got me back into the game. So, it's always been YouTube, and then most recently it was the introduction of Shang Tsung that got me back into the game.
If I recall right, then you stopped playing shortly after 2.0 dropped, right?
Yeah, I think it's about right. Sounds right. I just kind of got to where, which is where I'm kind of, like I said, I have that battle like flip in my head. I was like, I'm not spending money. I'm tired of seeing these packs. They need to change, and I was just done. And I kind of got frustrated with it, and I wasn't focusing so much on how fun the game can actually be if you put the effort into it, and I was just upset with the way that it was being made, and I felt like there was an advertisement constantly in my face, so I just had to give it up. And very recently I've actually slowed down playing again, because I realized that's happening again. Like, I realized I have to stop buying, I have to stop letting the advertisements hit me in the store. Like, I need to focus on the game, because since I've come back, I haven't really had time to actually just focus on what the new equipment even does, the new characters I have, and what their passives really mean. So, like, a lot of my new videos, I'm just playing with the characters, and I'm missing out on a lot of the things they're capable of doing, like fatal blows and things like that. I completely miss it because I was too busy buying all the soul packs, or whatever you could buy, growth packs, that's what they were. I was too busy buying that and then blowing them all. And the only time I really spend with the characters lately is making YouTube videos, and I realize I don't like playing the game that way, so I'm kind of having to step back and actually start to play it.
Yeah, now with a new update kind of lurking around the corner, I must already say, update 3.2 is very, very close. It should be actually announced any time now. Maybe already while this podcast comes out, the update has dropped. Depends on how fast I am with editing. Wink wink. But yeah, so far, what do we know? We know that a Sorcerer's Tower will be coming. What was your very first tower you played?
That would be the Cold War Tower, actually. It was my first.
Oh wow, okay. So you missed out a lot on towers the previous runs?
Oh yeah.
So there is a lot of frustration that you got saved from, I gotta say.
That's probably a good thing then, because I probably would have quit again.
And also the thing is, like, this Lin Kuei Tower that just came out, that was basically an easy version, aside from probably the last 10 fights. They had this situation up where they sometimes dropped the regular tower and a fatal difficulty. So if you went Elder, that was way more extreme than what you have come to experience now with the Lin Kuei Tower. And the Sorcerer's Tower probably will be another fatal one, because that's the first tower that will drop of that kind of genre. So we never had a Sorcerer's Tower before, which means that these fights probably are getting tough. I'm not sure if we will get both towers again, you know, that they drop like normal and fatal at the same time, or if they only drop one of those. We will have to see about that. We don't know what the rewards will be. We have no idea about gear. The only thing we can assume is that Shang Tsung will be playing a big role in this one, MK11 Shang Tsung that is. Maybe as the final boss or something, you know, or at least in the final last few matches we will encounter a lot of Shang Tsungs. Maybe we encounter Quan Chi. What's your take on that?
I hope so. Given the deadly alliance between those two in the past game, you know, I'm definitely hoping to see him. He may even be a reward at the end of the tower. I'm not sure how that's going to be. I know Shang Tsung's going to be a pain. I know that. Whatever fight he ends up being at the end is going to be a pain, definitely. But I'm not sure. I definitely want to see Quan Chi, but I'm more interested in, like, if he's actually going to be a reward, or who's all going to be a reward. Or is it just going to be Shang Tsung? I doubt they would do that. That'd be nice, though.
As they dropped the Tower of Horror for the first time, which was the very first tower, we had Black Dragon Cabal as the only reward. And each time you completed that, you got a fusion for your Cabal. But already with the return of Tower of Horror, they changed that up. So Cabal was no longer even a part of that. I think they went Circle of Shadow characters instead. Or was it Nightmare? Already forgot. By now we have played so many towers that it's kind of hard to keep track. Yeah, but I think definitely Shang Tsung might be at least in the rotation. Maybe there is, like, that they drop Circle of Shadow Quan Chi, MK11 Shang Tsung. What else would be kind of sorcerer-like? I don't think that Raiden qualifies, or Shinnok or so, but technically they could just throw one of those in. Maybe they drop a new character that will also be in the rotation, you know, like when they come up with new characters that they kind of announced. They already announced MK11 Rain to be coming to the game, but also that some say one more character will come, others say two more characters might come with that update. So everything is open for interpretation, and depending on what they want to give us in that tower, there might be a few of those new ones in the rotation. So
yeah, that's actually what I was kind of thinking about. Maybe Rain. A character I would understand, but he's not Diamond, so he won't be. But if they made Dark Raiden into a Diamond character, he would make sense also because of Deadly Alliance. They came together to try to defeat Naga at the end of the Deadly Alliance, and he became Darker Raiden originally, before they changed that up in the new story with the MK9 and 10 and 11, where they changed how that went. So it would make sense if they made a Diamond version of him, which I've been hoping for forever, but has never come.
But then, how about your thoughts on MK11 Raiden? Have you seen the teaser already? Are you excited?
On Rain, yeah, definitely. I thought it was going to be Rain for a really long time. I think they did some voting poll or something, didn't they? I don't know who won that. I think it was Fire God Liu Kang or something, but I still felt like it was going to be Rain for some reason. I didn't figure it would be MK11 Melina, because there's already so many Melinas in the game.
Only one diamond, though.
Yeah, and there's no Rain at all, so I don't know. I just had that feeling like, yeah, they're going to bring in Rain.
At the time of this recording, we don't have even seen gameplay of MK11 Rain yet. So far, we only have that little announcement teaser that they dropped on Twitter, where they basically just showed off, like, I am why mortals cry. Nice rhyme there.
Yeah.
But that's so far all we have seen about Rain, at least right now. Maybe they drop something more today, who knows?
I definitely hope so. I'd like to see some gameplay footage.
Yeah, it's always the most interesting because like we all will be sitting there and studying every single move. What does the special attack do? What can we already make out from the icons? You know, like what effects or buffs and debuffs will be on there. Maybe showcasing the passive. What does the Fatal Blow look like? At least on mobile, of course, you can always look the Fatal Blow up on the console. But how it transitions to mobile is sometimes quite interesting. Moveset, movements, passive.
Yeah.
Well, another thing they announced is that we will be getting a brutality for Shang Tsung.
Okay, I missed that. I haven't seen that.
Yeah, it will be definitely interesting because right now almost every MK11 character has his brutality. And I think that's the main route they're going. They're trying to close the gaps on MK11 cards when it comes to brutalities. Only a few others have gotten a brutality so far, like Cold War Sonya Blade, just to name one. But mainly it's the main focus on MK11 characters who get the Fatal Blow. And since Shang Tsung is still quite new to the game, his Fatal Blow will follow soon. Probably directly with this update, and it will be a possible reward at the end of the tower, or at least in the rotation. We have no guarantees to get that epic equipment or something, I guess.
Yeah, I'm hoping the equipment drops a little bit better in this tower than in the last one.
I wouldn't bank on that at all.
Yeah,
it might be even worse.
Hope for. True.
Experience taught us that it might be worse. With every single tower that came out, we've been complaining about the drop rates, and with every other tower that came out, we found it even worse than the one before.
Yeah, that's why I don't like. I was just about to say I don't get too excited about rain. Like I love rain, but at the same time, if I decide, and I have so far decided I'm not going to go down the route of buying this time, so I got to wait to earn them. And how long is that going to be for you to even see a pack where you can get a chance and it's going to be 400 souls? Like, you know, they're going to go through the whole $20 and take a 20% chance at getting them first. So it's hard to get too excited if I don't know. It could be one of those diamonds that elude me, like classic Liu Kang. And I didn't get him for years.
Mm.
You know, so at the rate that I play, and that's just for me. I mean, for people that play every day, they're going to get them at some point soon. But for me, and I've talked about it with you, like the job that I have, I get to log on sometimes for 5 minutes a day, and that's it. So it's hard for me to get diamonds. As soon as I get 400 or 450 souls, I'm opening a pack. That's just most of the time I don't save. I've saved here recently a couple of times and it was worth it, but most of the time I spend them as soon as I get them. So it's like, when am I really going to see Rain? So it's hard for me to get too excited about him. I'm more excited about getting Shang Tsung fused, I would say, more than anything from the update. Getting that brutality and getting that Fatal Blow, that's what I'm probably more excited about than anything.
Well, when it comes to saving, I'm already up around 20,000 souls.
Wow.
Technically, I'm hoping for Classic Noob to drop because I still don't have him. So, waiting on that Classic Ninja pack or something before the update drops, I'm not sure. Because I'm pretty realistic when it comes to the update and they drop Rain. There will be a pack for money, and that will be the only way to obtain MK11 Rain, at least for the first few days. Then there will be weeks nothing, and then maybe they drop a pack with 3% drop rate, probably, or most likely. And even then it's questionable that you unlock him, because if you've seen my pack opening for Shang Tsung, I've blasted at that time 10,000 souls into that pack, didn't get a single copy. And before that pack disappeared, I've spent another maybe 7,000 souls. So that means 17k. And I didn't get a single card, not even another diamond or something. No fusion, no nothing. That was 17k down the drain.
Yeah, I heard a lot of that from that pack. I heard that was absolutely ridiculous. I actually was only able to open 2 or 3 of those. Didn't get nothing, obviously, with just 2 or 3. But that was sad hearing how many souls people were blowing and going through and not getting anything out of that pack. And I feel like I was just saying, I feel it'll be the same way with the Rain. So that's why, for me, it's hard to get excited about it. I mean, I'm happy he's going to be there at some point. Hopefully, I will have that card. But I don't want to do the route that I did with Shang Tsung, which is buy these packs over and over again with a 20% chance. And I kind of got lucky with them. he popped up like 3 times in a row on one of those. So I got lucky, but I could have dropped way more money and then been in the situation where he only popped up 2 or 3 times. And, he's not worth using. I mean, at Fusion 5, he's such a strong, where I have him right now, he's such a strong card, I can put him with my max cards. So it's worth to have him at Fusion 5, but looking back at it, I'd much rather have the money now. But of course, I was blinded by the fact that it was Shang Tsung. I mean, he's one of my top 5 favorite characters in Mortal Kombat history, so I was just, I gotta have him. Just kind of came over me, and the next thing I knew, I was not just buying him, I was buying growth packs, which I mentioned before, and it got out of hand. So I'm hoping with this update, I can just hold back, and I can get Rain naturally, but again, like you said, it's probably going to be weeks before we even see a pack, and then it's probably going to have 3% chance, so that's a bummer.
Well, then the next question would be possible other characters. What are your takes on that? Do you have like a feeling who it might be?
If there's other characters...
so let's just assume there will be 2 more other than MK11 Rain. Who would be the top 2 picks that you would love to see to come to the game?
That'd be easier, I guess, for me to what do I think and what I love. I would love, and I know it's just a random off-the-wall character a lot of people probably don't even know of, or well, they know of, but probably wouldn't pick, but Havoc.
Oh, love it.
He's just, you randomly throw Havoc in there, and he's not on the console right now, and you spend some time with him, and you get the way that he was in Deception, twisting and torting his body, you could probably do some really cool things there.
Yeah, and they also name dropped him in MK Aftermath.
Yeah, there's also been some rumors on how good they are about him being in the new combat pack, if that comes to be true. So
possible, but I don't think that they would drop him before he's even in the console.
Yeah, so that's probably out of the question to something I'd like to see.
And what are your thoughts on who they might just add?
They may even go, since they're doing this whole classic thing, they did it with Noob Saibot pretty quickly, so they may go with a classic Rain, just to throw in another gold card, to throw in more into the classic team. I could see that, because I think that covers all the ninjas. I don't think we're missing any now that we have Rain.
Unless we are counting stuff like Chrome, which was never like an official character. Classic Tremor, maybe?
Yeah, that's very possible.
What else in terms of classic don't we have yet? We don't have classic Johnny Cage. Something I'm pointing out all the time because the entire MK1 roster has a classic variation, but there is no classic Johnny Cage unless you are willing to count A-list and stunt double as the classics. But officially it's not classic.
Oh no, it's not a classic until he's wearing that classic Mortal Kombat 1 uniform stance, whole ordeal. So definitely, yeah, and honestly, I haven't thought about that, but yeah, you're right.
Yeah, it's just kind of funny because all the MK1 chars have their classic variation, only Johnny Cage is missing for some reason.
Yeah.
Same with the movie that is coming out, Johnny Cage is missing there too.
I don't know, Johnny Cage do something, make someone mad.
He probably said something inappropriate.
Good chance. But that would be nice, I would like to see that. I'm trying to think of anyone besides Havoc that I'd like to see, or what I think, and other than classic MK Rain, I just have no idea, because I used to say Scarlet all the time, and then when I come back to the game, I realized Scarlet was there. I didn't even know. At first, when I come back to Scarlet, I just stopped attention in general. I didn't watch anyone's videos. I knew nothing. And Scarlet would be, something that I would be saying back in the day all the time. If they were going to throw in some of the MK11 characters, I'd pick her. But she's already there. Maybe MK11 Aaron Black, but I'm guessing they're only going to do 1 diamond.
I think they're constantly just dropping diamonds. The only not diamonds were now Classic Noob and Classic Smoke. So everything else has been diamonds since 2.0. Aside from the fact, of course, that initially MK11 Jade, Raiden, and Cabal were gold cards, but then have been ascended to diamonds.
Yeah.
So literally since 2.0 we got 2 gold cards. And every gold before was in update 1.21. And that was Vampires Melina.
With that thought, I would say that Fire God Liu Kang.
Yep, definitely a lot of people are asking for that guy. Another one, as you already mentioned, MK11 Melina. She's also popular. People asking for her like crazy.
Yeah, I mean, I remember that going on when she wasn't announced for the console game. And just kept on. Eventually, she come in, and I have the console version, so I started playing as Melina, and I mean, I wasn't on that train of everyone hopped aboard and it's like, hey, we want Melina, let's just blow up Edmund's Twitter until we get her. And they got her, and I started playing as her, and I gotta say, she ended up becoming the character that I played the most with. So I would definitely like to see MK11 Melina at some point.
For me, it's mostly I'm mainly interested in NetherRealm characters. I would be okay with basically anyone. Could be Serena, could be Ashra, could be Dramin, could be Moloch. Totally fine with basically everything they could drop in that vein. We need more NetherRealm characters in our life.
I would definitely go with Serena on that list of. I would be okay with all those, but Serena's a character that was used not very much. I think the only game she's playable in is Armageddon.
Mm.
And I think there's another one that was a port of Deadly Alliance onto like one of the handheld devices she's playable in, and then Mortal Kombat Armageddon.
Mm.
So there's not a lot of her, so there's potential there. Every version of her you see she looks human, but apparently she's some kind of, can turn into a demon or whatever. So that could be.
Yeah, same goes for Ashra.
Yeah. I would love to see some of the. Definitely, the Deception was my favorite Mortal Kombat game when it comes to consoles, even though it was the 3D era. But it was my favorite because of Conquest mode and the introduction of all these new characters, and I really liked him, except for I can't think of his name.
Cobra.
Shameful. He's like the most. Him, yeah, I did not like him, and there was the other guys, Su Hao or whatever his name was.
That was already Deadly Alliance. That was before.
Deadly Alliance. Okay, yeah, that guy. So besides maybe those two and Bo' Rai Cho, I can't stand Bo' Rai Cho.
Yeah, same here.
So anything else from that era, I would love to see.
Well, aside from that, we might also get other fan favorites, maybe like MK11 Sindel and MK11 Nightwolf. Both of them are also very high in demand.
Oh yeah, definitely. I kind of figured those are just automatics at some point.
Yeah.
Slowly add diamonds, but
maybe MK11 Kitana. Although we have quite a few Kitanas now, especially so many diamonds.
Yeah, but I mean, they did do MK11 Jade. It would be nice to go ahead and at some point have all the female, ninjas, I guess you could say. So Kitana, Melina. Now you already got Scarlet.
Shiva is also in the run.
Oh yeah, I forgot she's in that game. So yeah, I haven't played console in a while, so I'm sitting here in my head trying to figure out who else is on the roster. And there's so many of them to choose from.
Well then, how about other expectations regarding the update? Maybe aside from characters, what would you love to see changed, added?
Oh, the entire store just needs. I wish there'd be some complete overhaul into the store.
Yes.
Because I don't think that it would be such a problem to spend money if it wasn't for you're spending it, you're just getting chances, and then your souls. You've worked. It takes months to save up enough to and you can blow them in 5 minutes. So you're saving up for months and you're only getting a 4% chance. I just think there needs to be a complete overhaul and a way that they do that. I don't know if it's designed because they feel like if they make it too easy for you to get diamond characters, then you're going to max out your count and get bored and leave. And I know that, there needs to be some kind of balance because I know that can't happen.
Mm.
But it needs an overhaul from where it's at right now. But it's addicting if you let it be, and it's not good because you're just taking a chance. And that's kind of been my problem. I've spent way too much money on just chances. I would like to be able to say, hey, if I'm going to spend $20 like these, they're doing the brutality packs, and they're only giving you one piece of the equipment that goes with the brutality, you should be getting both of those pieces of equipment, plus a bunch of coins and a bunch of souls, and a guaranteed of the character that it goes to, or maybe even each copy of that character. Like if say it's Liu Kang's brutality, well, there's multiple Liu Kangs, so you should get copies of each. You're spending $20, that's a lot, to be just getting one piece of brutality gear and only a chance at the character that it actually goes with.
Yeah. Well, you've been already leading into it, and that will also be like another big focus here on this episode of the podcast, and that is paywall packs, meaning basically spending real money to obtain cards in the game. How about we start with a little bit of history, because you've been playing the game basically since day one, and there was something very, very beautiful pretty much at the very early stages of the game, which was called the Early Access Pack. And I actually loved that idea because the character that you bought, usually they've been around for $10 or so, but the character inside was guaranteed. You also got a guaranteed copy of the equipment, even if it's just one fusion, basically. But yeah, have you been making use of early access packs back then?
Back then, actually, I was just a free play player and didn't get to make use of those. But I do remember them now that you've talked about them. I almost completely forgot. It's hard to remember back then. For me, my brain just, the memory's horrible. But yeah, I didn't get to make use of those. But that was really good. I think I made a few, maybe use a few of them. I can't remember how long they actually stuck around. Yeah, I would.
We
like
had
to
early access pack all the way up to 2.0.
Okay, well, I definitely used probably a couple of those then. You know, they could go back to that, or they could, like, you know, Fortnite and Call of Duty and those games like that, they do a season pass or I think basically season pass or battle pass. I would think it would be nice if they did something kind of like that. They could do like a combat pass. You know, you just pay $10 and then you earn, if you grind hard enough during a certain amount of time, you earn your way from level 1 to say 60, since that seems to be what they like is 60. They're not raising that any, it seems like. So, you know, you could maybe, I mean, it's just an idea, you know, once you purchase it, you get that guaranteed diamond card, and then as you grind or whatever, you get fusions on it, maybe when you get to level 5, and then when you get to level 10 or whatever, and ultimately you get to max it out through this combat pass or whatever that you bought. They could implement that idea. I don't think they're going to, but I think it would work, and I think they could make some serious money off of it. May upset a lot of people too. I'm not sure how people would feel about that.
I mean, back then with the early access packs, it was always for challenge characters, and the main point was that you just had to buy one early access pack, which means that not only that you got to play the character before the free-to-play players, but you also unlocked that character in the store and were then able, if you had enough souls, then to fuse them up all the way up to max fusion, and that just with buying one early access pack. And on top, if you remember, with those early access packs, they also had this beautiful design of card packs in there, be it for Johnny Cage or Marksman Kung Jin, just like that design of the pack itself before you opened it looked so gorgeous. They put so much effort into designing these packs, and now if you are looking at the packs that you're purchasing, it's basically all the same. It's all just the standard pack, nothing special anymore, no extra design. It's very, very disappointing, even from a visual standpoint, let alone the drop rate chances with 10% or something, like if you're lucky.
Yeah.
Which I found an absolute no-go. Since they completely go that gamble route, I'm totally not interested. I'm not supporting that at all. It's like, give me a pack, give me a guaranteed price, and then it's up to the people if they are okay with that price, and if that may be $20 or something. If they say that's worth, I want to pay $20 to get a card, then fine, do that. But not if you only get a chance for 10% or something. Because think about the players who have a solid roster already, many maxed out diamonds. The chances are extremely high that you just get sellbacks even though you spent $200, $300 and you get nothing in return.
Yeah, that's painful sounding.
It's
Also,
basically I could just throw that money out of my window.
Yeah, you're basically just burning it. And that's kind of where I'm at now, to why I decided to stop, because I've maxed out like 5 or 6 diamonds now, something like that recently. I maxed out MK11 Cabal, Assassin's Jade, so it's like I can't buy any more of those, because there's a lot of those that are coming around, like the $20 packs now, and they call it the Circle of Shadow pack. I believe that's the one that's in the store right now, or whatever characters it's based off on. But if you look at it, there's only a 10% chance to get any of those characters. It's like they had the Guardian or Terminator Champion pack, that's what it was, with Guardian and then Dark Fate Terminator, and there was only a 10% chance to get either one of them.
No,
There's no way. You're gonna have to spend like $500 before you get one of those. That's insane.
unless you're super lucky.
Yeah, unless you're super lucky, you're probably gonna drop 200 just to get one of those, maybe more.
I
So
also feel
that's-
like back then with the early access pack, it felt way more like a genuine supporting of the developers. basically saying like they dropped a new challenge card, and not only that I want to play them maybe like 1 or 2 weeks prior to free to play, but also like every time when you purchased an early access pack, it felt like you are really supporting the developers for what they have done as a little thank you, from player back to the development center. And since 2.0, since they took that all away, basically ruined the store, it doesn't feel even like supporting them anymore. Instead, we just have the feeling that all they care about is money. They put in these ridiculous gamble chances, and we've seen people on YouTube buying like 10, 15, 20 packs without getting the card they wanted, and you just think they're like, oh my god, that's like 10, 20 bucks each time. It's like, number one, why do people make so much money that they can afford that? Or even worse, do they just take the credit card of daddy without him even knowing about that, and he will get the bill then after?
A lot of Fortnite parents for sure have experienced that.
Yeah, indeed, exactly.
Yeah, I don't care much for the chance. After I did the whole growth pack for the souls, and then luckily with the souls, the Dark Fate pack was out at the time, which is probably one of the best, if not the best, soul packs to buy is the Dark Fate, and I was lucky enough to get a bunch of characters through it. And then again, I did get Classic Noob Saibot, and I just got lucky enough to buy one, and boom, got him. And there's people out there that probably bought that pack 6 or 7 times and didn't get them once.
No.
And I don't use them at all, so I regret that one. I don't use them. It's like I'm ready for a pack to come along so I can get a max fused, because I don't really have any characters I can stick them with as far as gold characters. He is, 0 fusion gold, and all the rest of my golds are either, I would say, fusion 8 and above. I think I have a few in there that are like 5 or 6 or whatever.
Unless you want to just play him with bronze cards, for example.
Yeah.
Can be fun too, though.
Yeah, it can be.
So now when it comes to buying packs, what would you say is even worth spending on, and which packs should players definitely stay away from? Do you have any advice? Because I cannot really speak on that matter, because I've been free to play since I started that game about 4 years ago. So ever since, I have not purchased a single pack, and I probably never will, especially not seeing the route they are going in. I'm not paying for chances, and I'd rather just be patient and wait until that character drops at some point. But since you went that route with purchasing packs, is there anything where you would say like, oh, that's a red flag, stay just away from that pack, never open that, but rather, if you have to spend, invest in that other pack?
The one thing that I would say for when they release the towers and they have those packs where you get gear, depending on your wiggle room to spend money, any of those that are like $10 or $20 for the cards, even the grand one for $30. If you have that kind of money, it really helps with the tower. Like, I wouldn't have been able to get through the Cold War Tower the first time around if it wasn't for actually buying one of those. So I would say those are good if you want to, because you're going to get a certain amount of uncommon, rare, and epic out of some of those packs. So those are good. The one where you get a diamond and only 3 pieces of tower gear, I would stay away from that. Any of the I mentioned it before, there was the Terminator champion, the Circle of Shadow champion. They have those going on right now where it's only a 10% chance. I've stayed away from those in general.
Yeah.
And the other one is like they are advertising right now, I think Ravenous Melina as we speak, you can buy for $20, which I think that needs to get dropped down to $10. But again, it's what is your room as far as your spending room, and if you feel like buying Melina or Raiden or some of the other characters they've stuck in there for $20, that's a guarantee. You feel like, hey, yeah. But I haven't done that myself, so
yeah,
that one, because it's guaranteed. The gear cards for the towers, one of the more expensive ones. Like, I would not do the $4.99 when that's a startup or whatever. I would definitely wait till they release the $19 one or the $30.
Yeah, the Grand or Epics or something.
Yeah. Because you're more than likely, there's still a chance you won't get it. You're more than likely going to get the brutality gear or whatever really good gear that goes with that tower. You're probably going to get it from that one. So those, yeah, I would say. I wouldn't even know if I'd call it worth it. But if you're like me and you don't get a lot of time in the game, or you're not going to be able to finish the tower, and you have the money, then yeah, it's a little bit worth it. But if you have the cards and the characters to beat the tower without spending the money, then yeah, there's no reason to spend any money on it. Yeah, I imagine you, as long as you plan with your roster and where it's at, I mean, probably be able to get through. You have to finagle and figure out how to do it, but you'll probably be able to get through the new Sorcerer's Tower just fine. And I think my roster is now to the point where I might be able to do that too. I'm hoping so. I'm going to give it the best I can without dropping any money on any gear or anything. I'm going to try to beat it, and then when I beat it, I'm going to continue to play it and hopefully get whatever brutality set of gear that comes with it.
What I noticed in previous towers, it's like usually the first run is always the most extreme because your gear cards from that tower are low fusion. You mainly get maybe some uncommon gears and maybe like one, if you're lucky, 2 epics, a few rare in between. And even like on your maybe first 2 runs, it might be quite tough to beat that tower. But the more runs you are completing, the more you notice how much easier it gets. Simply because your gear is also fusing up with each run.
Yeah.
So just be aware, the first run will be literally grinding away. That's the same thing for all of us, unless we invest money for gear. We all will struggle.
I definitely think that's what they want.
Yeah.
And I fell in that the first time around. I'm like, oh, I don't even think I'm going to get past Battle 100. So I was like, well, let me buy a $9 one. Then I saw how that helped me get through there. So I ended up and bought another one. And then it just made it way too easy. So I definitely think if you do have the money to invest and you wanted to invest into something, I would say, yeah, do it on the towers. But then again, they're going to disappear and come back. So if you have patience, that's something I'm bad about as well. If you have patience, no reason to spend a dime. I'm just a guy with no patience and a job that takes a whole lot of my time, so I don't get a whole lot of time on the game. Like I've only had probably a total of maybe 5 minutes on the game today, just enough to reset quest, and that's it. I haven't even finished the challenge that's going on right now, which is one of the Ermacs. I don't even remember which one, and I haven't even got past the normal difficulty yet, and I only have like a day to finish that now.
It's Pharaoh or Ermac, by the way.
Okay, yeah. I've gotten way behind. I got some catching up to do. Maybe, hopefully, actually get to do a video tonight since I haven't got no call to go into work or do anything. So, yeah, I might actually do a video after this, put one together. Because it's been, I think, over a week now. I've started slacking just because I've been so busy. And that's been the problem to me. And I think that's why I do pull out money and spend it on the game, because I get behind and I don't, these towers come around and different things like that. I know with the amount of time that I actually spend on the game, I need to be able to get through these fights, and the grinding part I just don't have time for. So it's easier to say, buy the grand pack or whatever it is for $30 and be able to fly through the tower and beat it easily instead of having to worry about grinding.
Well, then we finally could lead into our ideas of how they could make this entire concept better, especially speaking when it comes to paying for the cards that we want. Like, what would be an idea that you would have that you say, if they would change it up like that, I would be way more intrigued to invest money to buy something as compared to how things are going right now?
You said it perfect earlier, or at least we've talked about it, guaranteed. I mean, if you had just a whole store, you could just take the whole store and make each card have a price on it. Like first fusion, maybe the first fusion's $5, and the more fusions you want on it, it gets higher. Something I feel like there's ways that they could put you in a position to buy the card you want, guaranteed, the gear you want, guaranteed. And you'll spend that money, if you want that. But the thing is, I don't see it happen, but I think it would be a big improvement. Again, I think the worry would be, well, the people that do spend insane amount of money will those go ahead and buy 10 fusions of their character, buy the gear and everything else that just come out, and then they'll get bored and go away. I think that's kind of what they're worried about. I don't know. Maybe it's just, hey, we want your money, but I think there's also a kind of a balance you're trying to figure out, but I think an improvement can be guaranteed, like you said. If they put an expensive price of $20 on it still, sure, but it's kind of sad, like to have Ravenous Melina in there right now, and she's $20 just for one fusion, and she's she's the original diamond, one of the original diamonds.
Yeah.
So
And I still don't have her maxed out
$20
yet. It's so funny. I have so many of those MK11 cards maxed, but many of the OGs are still missing. I'm still not done with Classic Liu Kang. Still have to get fusions for Melina. Still need fusions on Wretch Devora. Stuff like that.
Oh yeah, same with me. I mean, the originals, like Richard DeVore, I think she's only Fusion 1, and then I think I got Ravenous Melina Fusion 6, I believe.
Fusion 6. I think I'm at Fusion 7.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to get the originals fused for some reason for me, but at the same time, I don't think they should be $20 in the store for one fusion.
Yeah.
Maybe for 3 fusions, for $20, but not one for 20. That's a little ridiculous for me. So I think there could be an improvement there, and I think they could give you multiple options instead of just one. Maybe they have 3 characters, and maybe all characters go on rotation. Kind of like they have that 3 characters in the store at a time that could be gold, silver, bronze, or whatever, where it's under the characters section. Maybe they could do that for diamonds under the part where you actually pay, and it could be $10 instead of 20, and they could rotate between all of the diamonds in the game. So that gives you a chance to really play with the characters you want to play. I know that I've been trying to get a hold of Black Dragon Tremor so I could have a full Black Dragon team around the same fusion, and I've been trying for so long that I'm starting to get wore out. It's like I'm starting to give up a little bit. He's one of those that's starting to elude me like Classic Liu Kang did for so long, and I couldn't get him, so it's like I'm just going to give up. I'm never going to see Liu Kang. Eventually I did, but I'm starting to feel that way about Black Dragon Tremor.
Yeah.
I don't even know if he's that great of a card, but I do want to get him so I can put him with Black Dragon, Cabal, and Aaron Black, so I can have that Black Dragon team, but I just can't seem to get him for the life of me. That's another thing that I hope would improve is the Faction Wars rewards, because there's obviously been some hacking going on recently with that, with people having some insane, ridiculous points. I've seen some screenshots and stuff, but I would like for them to drop that. I guess where you're at the very top, you've got like a 20% chance at the diamonds, a certain percent, I think everyone's 20% chance. I can't remember how it goes when you get to the very top, but I would like them to make that available in the leaderboards, not just for the very top, but maybe all the way back to Combat Elite would be nice. Because it's not everyone has a maxed out roster and can do I can't even do the Elder Tower honestly yet in Survivor mode, so that for me is frustrating. I like that to go back to a more fair, even, it's based on how much you're able to grind kind of deal. Like before the Survivor was in there, it was just how much time did you have and how long could you grind and how hard you worked.
Yeah.
Then you got that reward, and I wish there was some kind of system implemented, at least in the Faction Wars, that the game knows what diamonds you have and doesn't sell back something to you.
Yeah.
Until you've already got everything maxed that they're trying to reward you, and then at that point you obviously got to get a sell back. But it would be nice in at least Faction Wars. I know they're not going to do it in the store or the packs, but at least in Faction Wars, implement a system in the game that knows, okay, what you have maxed out, we're not going to give you that, especially if you've managed to work all the way up into at least Champion. We'll just say Champion, not Combat Elite, but Champion. And forward. If you've been able to grind your way that many points, you should get a guaranteed card of whatever reward they're offering. Whatever 4 or 5 they have in there. I feel like that would be nice. Appreciation to the players, something. Because it's sad to see some of these guys that have been grinding all week long, have done nothing else but woke up, played, maybe ate lunch, if they remembered, getting dehydrated, just grinding and grinding and grinding all week long, and they turn around and get a sell back. I mean, I haven't experienced that myself. I get up to about Combat Elite these days and leave it alone, but I couldn't imagine getting up to the top 50 and turn around and get a Black Dragon Kano that I already got maxed out or something, like how deflating, demoralizing that would feel.
Yeah, for me it's almost the same thing. I'm just going up to Champion and then leave it at that. Because I'm not willing to go higher to Grandmaster or something just to get a sellback for Borracho. I'm not doing it.
Yeah.
I do my 7-8 million points every season and that's it. If I get something, I get something. If not, so what? That's basically like 2 runs in Elder Tower in the Survivor mode, simply because I hate this mode. I hate Survivor mode. To me, it's nothing but Relic Hunt, just with a different packaging, with Revenants and Bone Shields and Hackers on top.
I feel the same way. I wasn't going to say anything because I didn't know how you felt about Survivor, but I wish it would just go back to the way it was before.
Yes.
Like it was, everyone has that fair chance.
They could take that mode and shove it tomorrow. I'm totally fine with that.
Yeah, I'm out on that. Like, I do the same thing, but I don't do it with Elder. I do it with I guess it's the Fatal, the one with the 12 battles. I do that 3 times, and then I can just call it quits. And
yeah.
I get something or I don't. Last couple of times, it's actually, I think I got a Ronin, Kenshi, and something else before that. So I got a couple of diamonds out of not even trying any classics mode.
Sometimes it even feels like your chances are higher to get something if you don't grind all the way to the top. Because the more effort you put in, the less you get.
Oh yeah, I put a lot of effort in this last one because, again, Black Dragon teams come up, and there was Tremor was one of them, so I put in effort. And I think I got like 9 million points or something like that and got a gold cell back at that. I was out.
Yeah. But then my pitch in terms of how to make the spending experience better in MK Mobile would actually be like sell all cards for just $3. Because think about it, there are so many free-to-play players who just look at the pack and see like there's a random drop chance. I pay 10 to 20 bucks, I'm not doing it. But if you would get a guaranteed card for just $3, imagine how many people suddenly would open their wallets, even let's say a new character drops. So many people would go, okay, I buy one. And that a card is guaranteed. Imagine how many more people would suddenly start spending. And then if you want more, then you just pay another $3, and in the end you fuse them up to 10. You're happy you haven't spent like a crazy amount of money. It's like a fair price. On top, so many more players do that thing because it's affordable. Even for those who don't have that crazy amount of money lying around at home. Like it's just $3. It's like a coffee. It's just one time less going to Starbucks,
Yeah.
That would be affordable. You would get the card guaranteed. You would also benefit from enjoying that new card immediately. And once you're happy like that, being literally a satisfied customer, the next time they drop a new character, you spend that again. So you would be a returning customer just because it was good the first time around. Now you maybe pay $20. You don't get the card. At some point you invested 100. You still haven't gotten the card. You're more likely just to uninstall the game.
Yeah, I've been there. I've done that actually.
Yeah.
Just got frustrated with the store and couldn't focus on the game because I was just so frustrated by how the store was being presented to me, and I uninstalled it.
Yeah.
And I was gone for a while.
Yeah, now just imagine it would be only $3 and you get the card guaranteed. You would be coming back. You would maybe say, I'm fusing it to 5 and then get the rest by the way it drops. But at least it's like at a usable fusion. Yeah. The next time the next card comes out, you just do the same thing again. You will always be happy. You don't regret having bought something. I think they could make way more money out of that and have a much happier community instead of holding on to that route that they're going in right now since 2.0, where you just think like it's just greedy corporate bullshit. I'm sorry to say it like that, but it's really, it is absolutely unacceptable.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, I feel like they're holding on to a few crazy hardcore fans that out there that have a lot of money, and maybe there's more than just a few, and that kind of ruined it for the rest of us. There's people out there dropping thousands to get Shang Tsung maxed or whatever new character comes out, and I think that's where they're like, we're going to focus more on them, and the free-to-play players can just keep playing free-to-play. Instead of trying to, like you said, make it $3 a card. That would be more open to everyone, and that also would give them a chance to maybe even take it from Fusion 10 to 20 to a mass overhaul in the game or something. Start adding more diamonds in. It creates a whole world of new opportunities to me. I mean, if I was looking at it from the studio or at the office or a business standpoint, if we were to move things down to $3 per card, then it just opens up a whole new opportunity. A whole new group of people are obviously going to be able to spend money as well as the group that always has, and then you could add more to the game. Like, it seems like it's been too long since they raised the level up on the game. They did from 50 to 60, and they did the same thing on the cards and the level in the game. They could go do that again. Add a few more fusions, add a few more levels, and do that every couple of years, and that way that gives people a reason to come back, spend that $3 to get the fusions if they want to, or the free-to-play players will just continue to free-to-play.
Well, then I would say we are through here with that. We've shared our thoughts on the new update. We shared the thoughts on the Sorcerer's Tower, MK11 Rain. We speculated a little bit about new characters and what we are expecting probably from that update. Want to throw one thing in there. I'm hoping for a lot of bug fixes. I'm always so desperate just for them to fix stuff. It's unreal.
Yeah, I wish they'd spend a little bit more time on that. I don't know what's going on in that area of the office.
It's actually very interesting because when playing MK11 Noob Saibot, when I played him on my old phone or my pad, he has this weird bug that his Special 2 just in the middle of everything just stops executing. So basically he stops and then gets hit by the opponent. He's not able to block in between. He's basically just losing his attempt and getting punished for 50% of all Special 2 attacks. Then it was interesting because I just recently bought a new phone and he doesn't have a single bug on that one. So it seems to be like that they are not supporting these new cards for older devices, even though my pad is running already on Android 8, so that is not that low either. I would understand that my phone maybe has that problem because that was running on Android 7. But with the pad on Android 8 and like 4GB RAM or something, it should not be any issue playing Noob. But as that experiment showed, like that new phone is just pulling off Noob Saibot without any issues. It just every single Special 2 I did with him was working.
Yeah, I haven't. That's crazy. I mean, I've seen some people where he completely disappears.
Mm.
I don't know if you've seen that one, but he's completely invisible. I saw that one just a few days ago. That's a different bug.
That was usually like a Dark Empress Kitana thing.
Yeah, I run off the iPhone XR, and I so far have not experienced any bugs with him, but I also have not played that much with him, honestly.
Mm.
I need to spend more time with him to see if I can get him to bug out.
It just makes me wonder, like, is it really just like an Android version thing when it comes to certain bugs? I mean, of course, some of the bugs are there for every single version, even on phone or pad, doesn't matter. But there are certain bugs that seem to only occur with older Android versions, maybe a different version, maybe what kind of device you're having. Maybe a Samsung reacts different than a Nokia or whatever, you know. iPhone is a completely different story. I think like they're testing basically everything on iPhones.
Yeah, very possible.
But who knows, like Motorola might not have any issues, whereas Samsung might face like 3 bugs on that same character. Would be then actually a question is like, what could they also do to make that experience for players on older devices better in terms of bug fixes? Or are they just looking at the newest devices, look at the complaints, then they try the character on the iPhone, you know, which doesn't have any issue, and then they see like, oh, there is no bug, there's nothing to fix, and just leave it.
Bug. Yeah,
exactly. Maybe they need to start playing older devices.
I think they kind of have the same outlook on that as they do for the people they're obviously projecting these this payment to. So they're just worried about people that can afford to buy new phones, and they're worried about people that can afford to buy $20 and get a 10% chance of the character over and over and over and over again.
Yeah.
And I think that's where they're putting their focus, because there's people out there willing to do it, and I, see that now. So that's a problem I don't want to be a part of anymore. That's why I said my new goal, which is for myself, but I've mentioned it here. My new goal for the update is not spending any money. Just go back to the way it was when I first started playing the game, free to play.
Well, that's a pretty nice closing of that episode. I would say that was basically the perfect outro already. Are there any final things that you would like to get off your chest? Then you have the opportunity to do that now. And also to plug your channel, social media. Like, what's your channel? What's your Twitter handle? Are you on Facebook? Whatever you would like to drop on our listeners, where to find you. And also saying that already to everyone, I will also drop these links in the description below so that you can check them out with just one click. But now, the final words are yours.
All right, Boneyards, just plain and simple on YouTube. Got a little drawing of Shinnok as the profile picture. Easy to find. And same thing on Twitter. It's Boneyards with the YT added on there. And of course, with those links, and throw them in the description. But That's where you can find me. I am on Facebook, but I don't do any Mortal Kombat stuff on there, so it's not worth finding me on there.
All right, then I would say, everybody, thank you for listening, for stopping by once again. It has been a very nice episode. We're looking forward to the new update now. And other than that, I can only say stay safe and healthy, take care of each other. Thank you for stopping by, being with us for all that time. And I would say, yeah, that's it. Good night, everyone, or good day, wherever you might be. Thank you for tuning in once again. If you enjoyed this video, please like, comment and subscribe. In case you didn't like the video, hit the dislike button twice just to make sure. And if you want to support the channel a little further, please consider joining the Patreon family of KC Mobile Gaming. You can already do that with as little as just $1 a month. And also follow me on social media like Twitter and Facebook. You will find all the necessary information in the description below of every video. If you want to see more content, then why don't you just click on one of those two videos here. Thank you for your support. Have a good one. Casey over and out for today.